What's going on, guys? Welcome to the weekly live stream. There's not a whole lot of MMA news going on. We have a month break until the next UFC fight, but there's still plenty of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about UFC 283, Jamahal Hill, Glover Teixeira, which really just got announced less than 2 weeks ago. Really, it was like 10 days ago that fight got announced. We can talk about the rest of the fights on UFC 283. We could talk about Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski. We could talk about the UFC in 2023 in general. And really, I'm sure there's probably a bunch of stuff that I may have missed that maybe has gone on today or yesterday. Who knows, honestly, what's liable to have been going on in the MMA world. I really haven't been paying super close attention today. But we have the Roman Dolidze, Marvin Vettori news. We have the Robert Whittaker Costa news, which I already made a video about, so you guys can check that out. I watched it a little bit. I did see Doug Crosby did another appearance with Chael, but I couldn't really stomach it. I watched about 15 minutes of it, but Chael was just giving him layups and just saying, oh, you're a great guy, and, you gave this guy a job, and, basically wasn't even really asking him any real questions. I may finish that up just to see, but we can, of course, talk about that. And I'm sure there's other thing that's been going on maybe today. I don't think there's been any big fight announcements. I would have known by now on that one. But whatever you guys want to discuss, just throw it in the chat. I'll just answer any questions you guys have. I have a Chris Curtis interview that I did last night. I honestly tried to make it shorter, to be honest. I wanted to do like 20 to 30 minutes. And we just kept talking about a million different things. So it ended up being like 50 minutes. So I'm going to try in the future. I'm going to do quicker interviews, honestly, or quicker like guests. I don't know what you want to call it. But we just talked about a million different topics. The reason it hasn't been out yet is because I just started working on timestamps. And also I had some issues with StreamYard trying to get the files to download. I couldn't do it last night. And then I finally figured it out today. And then I was adjusting the audio and trying to come up with timestamps. So far, I have quite a bit of timestamps. This is a 50-minute. We talk about his health leading into UFC 282. We talk about the Joaquin Buckley, like if there's any backstory between them two, which there is. We talk about his UFC 282 KO. We talk about Robert Whittaker being off UFC 284. Would he take that fight? We talk about Paulo Costa and his contract. We talk about Michael O'Shea calling him out at UFC Vegas 66. We talk about Roman Dolidze, Jack Hermanson. We talk about Marvin Vettori moving to Extreme Couture. We talk about Strickland versus Cannonier. We talk about MMA judging. We talk about damage-based scoring. We talk about Paddy Pimblett, Jarrett Gordon. There's a million things, and there's more that I probably don't even remember that I'm going through and time stamping now. But it should be out, I would say, within 40 minutes, probably 40 minutes of this stream ending. I might just not even timestamp the rest of it, to be quite honest. I may not even timestamp the rest of it, and I may just render it out, upload it right away, and it might be out within 15 minutes of the stream being ended, and then I can timestamp it after it's already out and just put the timestamps in there after the fact, because I already have all the way up to 33 minutes timestamped, so it's not a big deal. It's just another 20 minutes that doesn't have stamps yet. But anyway, outside of that, do me a favor, guys. Like this stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. I would greatly appreciate that. Throw some questions in the chat if you have any. We are sitting at 4,000. We're sitting at 6,469 subscribers. So we're just slowly inching our way now to the end of the year, slowly inching our way to 7,000, which is going to be pretty cool to hit 7,000, I think. I mean, that's a massive accomplishment. And who knows what's liable to happen in 2023. I'm hoping for 20K in 2023. That's what I'm aiming for. But what's going up, Bitsy? I hope you're doing well. What's up, Blaze One Sports? What's up, Bigfoot? I hope you're doing well as well. What's up, guy who uses my pick as his profile pick? Elsa, I guess. Yeah, Elsa. But yeah, you're using the line from Adesanya. Cringy, but okay. But that's kind of funny. You got my pick there. What's up, Benji? Hey, Joey. Hope you've been doing well. I am doing great. I hope you are doing well as well. I know we say this every time I get on live stream. I can't believe it's the end of the year. I cannot believe it's the end of the year. We don't have an event till January 14th, but I'll tell you this. I am excited. I'd rather have no UFC fights than have shitty Apex cards for the next 2 weeks. Because, I'd rather not watch, shit like Mackenzie Dern, Yan Xiaonan as a main event is garbage. Outright garbage. Alexa Grasso, Viviane Araújo, So it was all right. It's nothing spectacular, but hopefully, next year maybe ends the shitty Apex Fight Night cards. I'm kind of hoping. Because I can't stomach anymore those like early October terrible Fight Night cards. They were garbage. And I would prefer not to see that again. And the first one coming up January 14th is a very good card. Kelvin Gastelum, Nasruddin Imavov. Co-main event, Jeff Neal, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Puno Soriano versus Roman Khabilov. Dan Ige, Damon Jackson. Alan Nascimento, Carlos Hernandez. I'm dumb. Isn't Nascimento? I can't remember. Yeah, he's the guy that beat Jake Hadley from the Contender Series, who missed weight on the Contender Series. It's a decent fight. Ketlin Vieira, Raquel Pennington. We already talked about that. That's disturbing. Terrible fight right there. I mean, who cares about Ketlin Vieira, Raquel Pennington? I certainly don't. But this is a solid card. You got Jimmy Flick, Charles Johnson, Ronnie Barcelos, Umar Nurmagomedov. Who knows how this card's structured? But I'm at least doing 3, maybe 4 prediction videos for this card. But that's a solid card to start off the year with. Then we got 283, which wasn't looking that good, but it's much better with the new main event. Glover Teixeira, Jamahal Hill, Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, 18. Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. Fun fight. Jessica Andrade, Lauren Murphy. Ew. Gilbert Burns, Neil Magny. Yes. Wasn't Terrence McKinney on this card? Did Terrence McKinney get moved? It's showing Gabriel Bonfim, who was thought was supposed to fight. Am I missing it somewhere? Oh, there it is. I mixed up the names. There's 2 guys with the last name Bonfim on the card. So Terrence McKinney's on the card. Mauricio Shogun Hua on the card. It should be a solid card as well. So, okay. It's supposed to be cringe? Oh, yeah, I know. Christmas stream? Maybe. I don't know about all that. Do you think the Apex will host events by 2024? I pray not. But supposedly they're doing renovations on it to make room for more of a crowd at the Apex. So, I don't know. I hope not. I don't mind seeing Alexa Grasso. I mean, yeah, but not in a main event. Thank you, Joey, for streaming. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you for watching. I'd rather watch Esparza versus Thug Rose's main event for the next 3 years. Next 3 weeks, Joey, than do without UFC. Really? Really. Guys, if you've not already checked out Joey's videos on the Dagestani fighters, if they're ruining the sport, thoroughly entertaining. It's doing great views. Yeah, it's actually doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good. Last time I checked, it was going over 2,000, I think. Yeah, it's at 2,400. It's at 2,400. That's pretty good for my channel. It's got a lot of watch time. Almost 400 hours of watch time on that one, which is pretty good for my channel. Great video. I really enjoyed doing it. All the analytics for it are amazing for the most part for my channel. People are watching it for longer, clicking on it more often, and it's doing a 2 out of 10 in terms of performance for my last few videos. There's Paddy Pimblett videos trended slightly higher, but nonetheless, I'm hyped. It did good. I thought it probably would do good because it's a little bit controversial, but it's still getting views as of right now. But yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out my Dagestani video, go check it out. They need to be done for this year. Like, please, Dana, stop putting Apex. Put the Apex out of its misery. I don't even, I don't necessarily love the crowd, but for me, it's what the Apex allows the UFC to do, which is put on shit cards. So I might make a video on that, to be honest. RIP Apex Fart Night. Yeah, we'll say farting out of the Apex. Yeah, I'm tired of them farting out of the Apex. What's up, Soy Boys? What's going on? Joey, do you answer political questions? Not really. What's up, homework? I hate UFC 284 main event because the UFC is going to try to screw Volk over, giving him the most difficult matchup in the lightweight division in front of his home country just to see him lose so they can build Islam. I mean, he's asked for it. He's wanted this fight. Volkanovski's wanted this fight, so he only has himself to thank. So, I get what you're saying. I'm very high on Islam Makhachev. I'm very confident in Islam Makhachev winning that fight, but I know what you're saying. Anthony Smith as a backup for 283 main. I'd go with Glover on that. Yeah, I mean, Glover's already mauled him to death, beat the living shit out of him. I know it was competitive early, but yeah, I don't want to see Anthony Smith versus either one of those guys for a title. Ew. How is that even a backup? And how's that fight thrown together on 1 month's notice, really? So, UFC 284 looks weak right now considering Rob isn't fighting. I haven't looked at it. Let me take a look. But that is a massive hit to the card. Let's see how weak it may look. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look great. 2 title fights. But really, the interim featherweight title fight shouldn't even really exist at this point. Kai Kara France, Alex Perez is a good fight. Outside of that, I mean, this is really kind of shitty. To be honest, I agree. Yeah, 284 is looking less and less solid with what, after Rob versus Costa fell off. It's crazy how one fight can take a really good fight card to make it look like shit. I love super fights, but this fight is too early. They're just trying to elevate Islam's career. Dude, Volkanovski's the one calling for it. So we got to stop. We can't cry about it too much. Volkanovski's the one. Anthony Smith should just retire. Like, what does that guy offer? I mean, he's still a quality fighter, man. He's not going to fight for a title, but he's a quality fighter. The thing is, the UFC Apex is giving us almost a card every week. I don't care. Keep the Apex. Yeah, but they're garbage cards. They're garbage cards. How would you see Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page going down? Kevin Holland would destroy him probably. Michael Venom Page isn't even that good, dude. He fought garbage cans for years. First time he steps up and gets a bigger fight, he gets KO'd. Then he goes over to bare knuckle and loses to Mike Perry, right? I'm correct on that? Venom Page. And didn't he get a robbery win in the second fight? Or did he lose and say he won? I forgot. Yeah, so he beat Douglas Lima by split decision. I thought he lost that fight. So, I don't know. It is what it is. I think Kevin Holland would destroy him. Plus, Kevin Holland's bigger than him. I mean, Venom Page is a small welterweight. And Kevin Holland's a large welterweight. Is Paul Craig dropped on his back for the entire fight again? Yes. Yes, he is. I think they should do Rob versus Hamzat. That would be perfect. They're not going to do that. They're not going to risk Hamzat's star power against a guy like Rob, who's so good. They would give him someone else. Who should Robbie fight next? Probably Sean Strickland kind of makes sense. If they want to keep him on that card. If not, they got to wait for one of these other contenders to free up. Joe, what do you think about Talia Santos versus Aaron Blanchfield being announced? I like it, but I think Talia Santos probably should have got a rematch. But I understand why the UFC is not giving her a rematch, because she performed like garbage. Even though she almost dethroned Shevchenko, she was just holding her down, throwing no strikes. Joey, the narrative is Volk is afraid of the come up in the division, so that's why he's moving to lightweight for a payday to come back to featherweight to cash another championship match regardless if he wins lightweight. Is afraid the come up. Yeah, but he's going to have to fight him regardless. So, I don't know. That's a dumb narrative, in my opinion. I think Leon's going to win the trilogy. We'll find out. I'm favoring Kamaru. Still, even off their shit, it's just women's main event cards that are shit. Yeah. The fight nights from even late as 10 years ago would send these Apex cards to their death. Yeah, quality over quantity. Agreed 100%. Agreed 150%. Or they could do Rob Jarrett too. Who wants to see that? I mean, that was a clear win. That was a clear win for Robert Whittaker. I don't want to see that again. Honestly, thinking back about Jan Sean, I'm thinking maybe it could have gone both ways. Not sure. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I don't think it could have been. I thought it was a clear robbery, but all right. Lawler retiring this year. Never heard why he pulled out. Yeah, I never heard why he pulled out either, but maybe. I know what you mean next year, yeah. I was thinking 2023 already. Well, I guess Volk is going to tarnish his legacy losing in front of his people. He's not going to tarnish his legacy. If he goes back and wins a couple fights at featherweight, people are going to forget. Well, Volk beats Emmett, and Yair Volk ain't scared of no one. Oh, he beats Emmett and Yair, and Volk ain't scared of no one. Yeah, I agree. I favor Volk pretty much against everyone at featherweight. I mean, he beat up Max Holloway badly in the third fight. My gut is telling me Hooker versus Dober is going to be announced for the Perth card. Would not surprise me. Who do I have? I'd take Dan Hooker. I think Dan Hooker kind of rejuvenated himself in that Claudio Puelles matchup. What's up with the Volk hate, dude? Just want to move up and try to get that second belt. You got to respect that. Agreed. Agreed 100%. Do you think Weili versus Shevchenko is a possibility? Anything's a possibility, but it shouldn't happen. I mean, that's a terrible matchup to make happen. I mean, Weili Zhang would be massively undersized. Massively undersized. Hey, Joey, just got to the stream. I see someone asked about Santos Blanchfield already. What are your thoughts? I didn't really give a thoughts on the actual fight. I like the fight. It's two high-level girls at flyweight fighting each other. Talia Santos is very good. Blanchfield went out there and dominated Molly McCann, which I thought she would. Have a prediction video to prove it. But most people thought that. I agree, so I'm not trying to brag about it. But I'm just saying. She went out there and did that. Now we can see if, a lot of people are high on Blanchfield. I think she's a future contender regardless. But can she beat Talia Santos? That's the question. That is the question. It's going to be very interesting. Damn it, who likes Josh Emmett? I don't really think he has fans, to be honest. I don't dislike him, but I don't necessarily. I'm not like, I can't wait for Josh Emmett to fight because I really like the guy, So, even if Volk loses to Islam, Volk will still be the greatest featherweight of all time. He beat Jose, Max 3 times, and when he beat Jose, he was still in his prime. Yeah, I mean, no matter what happens, I think he's probably the GOAT featherweight. You can make a conversation for Jose just because of the work he did in WEC. But, yeah, it's close. Bro, Costa versus Whitaker was never on. They just announced it. Paul didn't sign. I know. I said that in my video. So thank you for filling me in. Do you think Dana would actually make Moicano versus Pimblett? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. Moicano versus Pimblett. I'm telling you, they're going to make Paddy fight bums for another year and a half. 2 years max. Or 2 years minimum, probably. They're not going to give Paddy Pimblett some difficult fight at all. I got Blanchfield, but I could easily see Santos giving her the L. Yeah, I don't know who I lean in that one. I probably lean Blanchfield, but I think that's recency bias. But she beat up a bum. Molly McCann's nothing more than a bum. Okay? Who was riding the coattails of Paddy Pimblett. So, I don't know. I'll lean early prediction Aaron Blanchfield. Well, we know Menon is next for Valentina. Wonder if they'll fight in England. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Supposedly, Fuhrer has an injury. So, I want to see Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Pantoja gives him a title shot. Pantoja's already got a title shot in the bank, dude. He's already beat Brandon Moreno twice. He has a big win over Alex Perez in his last fight. He's fighting for the winner. He's fighting the winner of Figgy versus Moreno. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. My best prediction this year was Leon Usman. I picked Leon, and Aljo versus Jan. I picked Aljo. Yeah, good. Good job. I mean, the Leon fight, I mean, I don't want to call it a fluke, but borderline a fluke. I want Islam versus Dariush. I want to see how Beneil's grappling defense holds up. It would be very, very interesting because the way he was able to scramble out a lot of those positions against Mateusz Gamrot, I would like to see how he is able to do it against Islam. I think that's more compelling, honestly, than Volk. I think Volk's going to be too small. And he's going to say, oh, he was very strong. I couldn't get him off me. And it diminishes him a little bit. If Gastelum loses to Maivoff, what's next for him? Probably PFL or Bellator, unfortunately, because I still think Gastelum's one of the best middleweights. He's lost a lot of very close fights. Ow, I just kicked my table underneath. He's lost a lot of very close fights. And I thought he beat Jared Cannonier, who's still ranked like number 2 or number 3, maybe. Probably Adesanya, Whitaker, and then Cannonier would be my guess. So, and he's hanging outside the top 10 now? But he's going to be in a bad spot. He loses to Maivoff, and Maivoff, I don't know who's Gastelum's manager. I think it's Ali, but the Maivoff fight's a very tough test for him. I hate how the UFC let Mighty Mouse go, and it was going to let Colby go, but keep guys like Paddy and Gordon around. It's just the way they do business, I guess. But I was super disappointed when they let Mighty Mouse go. What do you think happens with Tony next, seeing he's out of the rankings? Robbie Lawler. Tony Ferguson, Robbie Lawler is the fight to make, in my opinion. Your predictions are better than Dan Hardy? Okay, cool. They are just Gastelum as someone to build up other fighters in the rankings. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, Gastelum's a tough fight for anyone, honestly. So, Maivoff may not win. Not hating on Volk at any point, just pointing out what happened. We've seen it time and time again against dominant champ, moves up, gets dominated, never the same again. Don't act brand new to MMA. Come on now. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't get what you're saying. But okay, but Volk's moving up. I mean, I don't love the fight. I think it's interesting, but I don't love it. I would prefer Volk to stay down and defend and give Islam Beneil Dariush. But it's not my call. Edwards versus Chimaev should happen if Usman can't fight. Dude, it's not going to happen. Usman will fight. I think the possible Pantoja could beat both of them now. Hopefully he'll be back at 283 just in case someone misses weight. Dude, Pantoja's nasty. He's so highly skilled. He's nasty. UFC 2023 ain't starting off the best, not going to lie. Yeah, it's not great. It's not amazing. But March, April, May, it's going to really start heating up. John Jones, Francis Ngannou, hopefully. Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards 3, hopefully. Adesanya versus Pereira 2, hopefully. All huge fights. Who's the champ at 135 at the end of 2023? I'll say Henry Cejudo. I think if Rose fights again, she should fight Jan or Dern. I kind of wanted to see her fight Marina Rodriguez. Can be a repeat of Hill versus Craig. What are you talking about there? Did you watch the MMA Hour today? Danis and Ariel debating was hilarious. Dude, I can't lie. I may check it out, but I have no desire to see anything to do with Dillon Danis. The dude made his entire career off being a Conor McGregor dick sucker. Okay? That's just flat out the truth. He's a Conor McGregor groupie. He's never really done anything in the sport. And just because he rides Conor McGregor's nuts, he became popular. He's not even a celebrity. But for some reason, people keep talking about him. That's what he wants. I wish Ariel would stop talking about him and talking to him. I wish these YouTubers would stop trying to challenge him to a fight. I mean, the dude's an embarrassment to the sport. He's an embarrassment of a man. Okay? Dillon Danis is the type of person that makes me embarrassed for this community. Okay? And I'm just tired of hearing about his name. He's just a nut hugger. He's a clout chaser. And he's quite frankly a bitch. I'm so tired of hearing about the guy. At this point, I'm ready to box him and knock him the fuck out. Dude is irrelevant. I'm not even talking about him anymore because he's just annoying. I would be embarrassed to be his family. Imagine being famous for essentially just being on the nuts of a famous UFC fighter. That's embarrassment. Embarrassment of a man. Embarrassment to the sport. We should all just stop talking about him and collectively ignore him, and he can fade in obscurity because he's nobody. He's literally nobody. But fill me in. Look, Beneil might beat Islam's Beneil takedown defense was insane against Gamrot. Okay. Yeah, I agree. It would be very fun. I think that fight's more interesting than the Volk fight. Izzy took Gaslam's soul that night. Dude has never come back from it. Dude, he's fought fine. He took big shots from Cannonier. I don't think he lost his soul that night. I think he's just had some tough moments. And he should have won against Cannonier, in my opinion. Arman versus Beneil, who wins? Probably Beneil. But it'd be interesting. It'd be primarily a striking match. I have a feeling that 2023 is going to be a massive for the channel. Based on how many great fights we should see, just hope they realize that. Yeah, I think 2023 is going to be massive for the channel too. I mean, dude, the more you grow, the easier it is to grow, if that makes sense. So we're at almost 7,000. I'm hoping in 2023, 20,000 by the end of the year. I want to hit 10K by the 2-year anniversary, which is definitely going to happen almost. We'll see. I'm not going to say any definite. Nothing's 100%, but we should hit 10,000 by the 2-year anniversary. And then we'll go from there. But I appreciate your confidence in the channel. Robbie, Tim Means, Tony, and Matt Brown. Maybe Nico Price should just fight each other. Agreed. Volk has nothing to lose in the fight versus Islam. True. True. Did you see? Yeah. No, I did not. I seen a couple clips of it. Who do you have between Dariush and Poirier? I'd probably take Poirier. I don't see Islam landing a punch on Volk. His striking was something else against Islam. Okay, I don't even know what that means. You missed up some names, but all right. Cejudo versus Sterling predictions. I got Cejudo. I got Henry Cejudo. I mean, Aljamain Sterling has some of the worst striking I've ever seen in my life. So, I'm going Henry Cejudo all day. Stuff the takedowns. Win the grappling exchange. Or neutralize the grappling exchanges from Sterling and win on the feet. Exactly, Joey. You see how understanding the fight game, they should let Islam get a couple title defenses, then fight Volk. Well, it's Volk's fault, so blame Volk. He's the one begging for the matchup. Johnny Walker kills Paul Craig prediction. I mean, it could go either way. I don't trust Johnny Walker. He's not very smart. If Sean works takedown defense and gets the backup game and checking some more kicks, I think he'll beat Cejudo because he's not stuffing the takedowns of him. He's not. That's just a massive hole in his game. I bet you Danis hasn't even hung out with Conor in a year. I'd love to know the answer to that question. Imagine, like, literally in his career bio, it's just Conor McGregor nut hugger. Conor McGregor nut hugger. Yeah, that's an embarrassment. I would love to know the answer to that question. If you find out, let me know. If the UFC makes Conor Chandler at 170, my head's going to explode. The fight does absolutely nothing for Conor's legacy and actually makes no sense. Well, dude, Conor's done. Conor's done. All they're doing is trying to find him a fun fight. That's all they're doing. So I actually like that fight because Conor's a garbage can at this point. Conor's borderline irrelevant. Give him Chandler. Give him Chandler, who's on the way out himself in a way, in many ways, even though people don't see it yet. Chandler versus Dober prediction. I take Chandler. Chandler's chinning Dober, even though Dober's got a great chin. Chandler's chinning him. Who wins at 170, Conor or Wonderboy? Wonderboy. I had to think about that for a second. Wonderboy wins. I'm surprised that Glover's an underdog in the fight versus Hill. That is surprising. That's very surprising. But it doesn't shock me. Glover just coming off a war. He's 43 going on 44. And he's been hurt so many times on the feet. And Jamahal Hill's a very good striker. I could see Jamahal Hill. I might even pick Jamahal Hill. Early prediction was Jamahal Hill. So it's one of those fights where I kind of understand it. I see it either a first round KO for Jamahal Hill or a ground and pound or submission out grappling for Glover. Like Glover out grappling him and beating him up and submitting him. So I think Jamahal Hill needs that first round KO, maybe second round KO, early second round KO. But if he doesn't, I think Glover can out grapple him. Do you think Khamzat should fight instead of Costa versus Whitaker? Since he wants to be double champ, that'd be a huge step. I want to see Khamzat fight Colby. #1 contender fight. Colby Covington. How do people think Chandler beats Conor? No way. Chandler's chinless, and if he wrestles, he gets tired and exhausted. Yeah, I favor Conor, but you never know. Conor snapped his leg in his last fight. Conor hasn't won a lightweight fight in, since I was 12 years old, essentially. Chandler does have power, so who knows? Conor could get chinned. He got knocked out by Dustin Poirier. So I think it could go either way, but I favor Conor just because of the chinniness of Michael Chandler. But we'll see if it even gets booked. It's not booked. It's not booked. I don't know why I keep accidentally. I got a tab open I don't need, and I keep clicking on it. Like, what is this tab? But exit out of that. Exit out of that. I got 18 tabs open already on the channel. Where was I at? I wouldn't be surprised if Glover did not retire if he lost to Hill. Who knows with Glover anymore, but he's getting up there in age. I think if he loses, though, if he gets chinned, I think he probably retires. It's crazy. I remember Glover making his UFC debut, to see him retire and the legacy that he's built around him. Became a UFC champion. Nobody can take that away from him. I like Glover, so I'm happy for him. I remember when Yuri visited Egypt and took a picture in front of the pyramids, and you could see USADA agents sliding down the pyramids, needles to test Yuri. Okay, I guess that was supposed to be a funny joke. All right. Reyes next fight, dude. Reyes is done. They got to give Reyes a straight up bum. A straight up bum to get him back on the winning track. I don't know who Reyes fights anymore. He should be fighting Paul Craig. There's not a lot of options for him. There's not a lot of options for him. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't even think of someone. Let me look up the UFC rankings. I definitely don't want to see him fight someone in the rankings anymore. Where did Dominick Reyes slide to at this point? Dude, Reyes is 13. I mean, Paul Craig is 9. I think what they do is Paul Craig loses to Johnny Walker. I think they do Paul Craig versus Dominick Reyes. Get him back on the winning track. I think that's what they got to do. I don't know why Conor ever stayed at 155. He should have fought at 45 after Khabib or Cerrone. Dude, Conor just, he does what he wants. And he was killing himself to get down to 45. But only ever finished Eddie Alvarez at 55 in the UFC, at least. Only win it. Dude, Conor's only won one fight at lightweight in the UFC. And he was still ranked up until recently. Dariush versus Fiziev. I'll take Fiziev. I'm a big Fiziev believer. I think he stuffs the takedowns, and the striking is night and day skill difference. LMFAO. I don't know what was funny, but all right. What's next for Jalen Turner? I wouldn't mind if they booked the Drew Dober fight, but for me personally, I want to see him fight Gregor Gillespie. I want to see Gregor Gillespie be punished for calling out the dead body of Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson's out of the rankings now, by the way, guys, if you didn't know. 2022 was the most controversial year for the UFC, maybe. They already gave Reyes a bum. Reyes versus Jimmy Crute. Dude, Jimmy Crute probably starts him. Reyes versus Cutelaba makes sense. Dude, even Cutelaba. Can you imagine he gets chinned by Cutelaba? That'd be career ending. I used to think Chandler was going to be a champion, and he has no jiu-jitsu. Chandler has good jiu-jitsu, not offensive jiu-jitsu, but he has good jiu-jitsu. I never heard anybody say that before. Chandler's pretty good on the ground. Joe, is there a fighter in mind who should move up or move down and wait for betterment of their career? Off the top of my head, I can't think of somebody. You got to go. Okay. I'm not even reading that one. But yeah, Dom Reyes has a terrible chin. A gust of wind will knock him out. His wife kisses him on the chin every night to put him to sleep. Craig only throw kicks and pull guards. Somehow he's ranked. Dude, number 9 too. Things we've had since Conor McGregor won his last lightweight bout. 2 new presidents, a worldwide pandemic, all Khabib's title defenses, Mighty Mouse trade, Ben Askren's career is finished, and more. Dude, there's a lot. There's a lot you could come up with that's happened. I mean, there's some of you who weren't even watching MMA last time Conor had his lightweight win. Had a lightweight win. So, it's pretty crazy. Reyes is like Ferguson in the light heavyweight division, except Reyes is getting brutally KO'd. Ferguson got KO'd by Chandler, and that's it. Joey, do you believe this is the most talent the UFC's ever had? Yes. I mean, this is a really good moment with a lot of highly skilled fighters. Gus versus Reyes next. That kind of makes sense, dude, but whoever loses that is gone. What's up, Fries? Plus, there's bigger fights in the Bantamweight division will elevate his career because by far Moreno is the biggest star in the Flyweight. Plus, there's bigger fights in the Bantamweight division. What are you saying there? If Figgy moves up? Figgy ain't going to have success at Bantamweight. Bro, what it say for middleweight? That's Jarrett Cannonier's rank number 3. I believe so. That's what I said earlier. Yeah, he is. Paddy should fight Uros Medic. I think you say or Mektic, I wanted to say, and that was kind of making me stutter. Yeah, I'm not even sure he wins that. His wife will kiss him on the chin and he'll fall asleep. Yeah. Finally, someone who isn't on Gillespie's nuts. Dude acts so privileged, but dude don't fight. He never fights. I never want to see him fight again. I hope the UFC cuts him. I hope they part ways with him. I think Dominick Reyes is done already. If he was even close to the same guy, he had no business losing to Spann. Yeah, that's why I picked him over Spann. I said he can get KO'd, but he's much higher skilled than Reyes. But dude, the beatings have just worn him down. He's not the same guy he once was. The John Jones curse lives on. At the same time, Justin is ranked number 3, which is embracing. I don't know what you mean by that. Embarrassing. Dude, Armin's calling them out left and right. Like, fight somebody or get out of the rankings, you bitch. He's talking about Gaethje, Chandler, and Poirier. So. Am I the only one that thinks Volk is going to get smashed by Islam? No. Dustin submit a Chandler in like 5 seconds on the ground. Chandler was on top of Dustin forever and did nothing. Yeah, I know, but dude, he was beaten up and bloody. They were exhausted at that point. I can understand what you're saying, but fresh Chandler doesn't get choked out like that. I think it was more of a credit to the exhaustion and damage that was done in that fight. Do you think the UFC will rematch Jan Ankalaev for who's next? Maybe, but they might just go with Ankalaev. They might crown the winner in January and then have Ankalaev fight the winner in like spring or summer. Just because I think they're going to say, well, most people thought he won that fight. So I could see him doing that. I just started watching MMA in 2020 and started doing BJJ in 2021. That's crazy, man. I started watching MMA in like 2010. So I've been watching for 12 long years. What do you think of Dominick Cruz in terms of personality? He seems like a know-it-all. I mean, I don't mind him, but I understand the vibe you get from him. I definitely don't want to chop it up with him and his boys at the local bar, But Dominick Cruz is Dominick Cruz. That's all I can say. But I understand exactly what you're saying. Gillespie is 5 years away from being 40 in the 55 division. Is not fight. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's done. He can go somewhere else. I don't think he's planning on fighting. Gillespie was a bum anyway, dude. People gave him way too much credit just because he had good stamina. That was his main weapon, was his unlimited stamina. So, Gillespie shouldn't have his name spoken until he gets in the cage. Agreed. We'll never talk about him again. Still believe Joe Lozon should fight Paddy. Maybe they'll make it. Maybe they'll make that. But I doubt it. Hold on 1 second. Guys, do me a favor. If you have not already, like this stream. I would greatly appreciate if you guys like this stream. Look, I'll tell you this. We'll see the viewers go up And look, I did this, I think last week maybe. Let me go check. See if I did this last week. I'll go see real quick. Live chat. I don't know. I did it one week. I don't know what day it was. Was this the same day? I don't know. We got over a certain amount of likes on a stream, and I jumped on later that same night. I can't remember what day that was. Was that this night? That says 6 days ago and 4 days ago. Let me take a look. So this was on December 14th. And this was on December 16th. So that's not right. Yeah, I don't know. There was one where I came back on later. Does anybody remember what stream that was? Because all these streams are like days apart. Oh, I'm done. No. 6 days and 6 days. Are these streams out of order? Oh, they showed up out of order. So it was last week's live chat. Yeah, it was last week's live chat. Okay, look. No, it's still on there, it looks like. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken. I'm mixing it up. Look, guys, if we get 70 likes on this stream, I'll come back on for a little bit later as well. I'll come back on like 9, 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm still going for a while. But like the stream, guys, it helps the channel. Come on. It's simple. It's simple. There's 65 people in here. There's 20 likes, or now it jumped up a bit. But yeah, guys, if we get 70 likes, we don't have that many people in here right now. But if we get 70 likes on this stream, which I think was the same number last week, even if it gets enough likes, like, you know, an hour after the stream ends, because a lot of people watch it after the fact, I'll jump on here like 9, 10 p.m. tonight for a little while longer. Okay, where are we at? Do you think that Stipe's just going to retire at the end because he's in the rankings and there's not any news for him? It seems like he's just going to be a fireman now. I wouldn't count on him coming back, but he'll probably come back for one more fight, but I wouldn't count on it. No, if Moreno loses his 4th fight against Figgy, he should move up because he's done. He's not going to have nor Moreno nor Figgy is going to have a lot of success at bantamweight. So I don't know what they do. I heard about UFC for a while, but the first time I really tuned in was 251. 251 was stacked. So good time to tune in. Who's the best fighter at featherweight then O'Malley could beat? At featherweight? Dude, I don't know who's beating anyone at featherweight. Maybe Alex Caceres. Joey, if my girlfriend gets me the rock shoes for Christmas, should I roundhouse kick her or dump her on Christmas morning? I think you should roundhouse kick her and dump her. I used to watch UFC when I was like 5, and I thought it was scary. WWE. Only started watching, actually knowing what it was happening in 2015. That's pretty cool. How old were you in 2015 when you started watching? John. I've been watching UFC since Shamrock laid in Royce Gegard for 30 minutes. Goat, you're like 12 years old. Stop. Do you think if Aaron Blanchfield beats Talia Santos, she's getting a title shot? 100%. 100%. If Cowboy was still around, would he beat Paddy? Yes. Hey, Joey, who do you got in Hill versus Prochazka? Honestly, I lean Hill. I think Jamahal Hill has a better chance of beating Yuri Prochazka. Or let me put it this way. I like Jamahal Hill's chances of beating Yuri better than I like it beating Glover. I think stylistically it's a better matchup for him against Yuri. Because Yuri's super reckless and wild and gets clipped on the chin. Didn't Joe Lozon, but to answer your question, I'll take Hill. Early prediction Hill. Didn't Lozon have the amazing debut? Upset? I don't remember. To be honest. You made it a member stream? Well, I found 2 streams on the same day, so maybe I didn't. Or maybe it is a member stream, but it's just out of order because of that. Because of that. Let me see if I can. Because it doesn't show members next to it, which is weird. But I don't see members. It used to show members next to any stream that was a members. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's not a member stream. YouTube just put it out of order for some reason. I meant to make it a member stream, but I didn't. Would you be interested if Tai versus Rosenstrike once Tai took some time off? And I mean, yeah, I'm be interested in it. They're two heavy hitters, but dude, Tai's gonna get slept. Why is Paddy avoiding Terrence McKinney? Dude, he doesn't want to fight anyone, and the UFC doesn't want him to fight anyone. Who's gonna brutally KO him at this point in his career. Tai has the worst management ever. How are you gonna take a fight with a power puncher like Sergey after getting brutally finished 3 months before? Yeah, I didn't get that one either. I thought that was a terrible move. In 2015, I was 12. That's very interesting. Worst fighter fan base? Conor McGregor's probably still. Will she be the youngest champion ever, or wasn't John Jones also 23? He was at 23. So I don't know what her age is, but I'm assuming the way you phrased it, she is 23. Hey, Joey, you want to know about my parlay I cashed? Hey, Joey, you want to know about my parlay? The one guy from last chat. Yeah. Dude mentioned it like 12 times. There hasn't been a light heavyweight title defense since UFC 259. That is crazy. That was Jan versus Adesanya, right? That is pretty wild. Pereira versus Prochazka in Japan is my dream MMA matchup. Why does it have to be in Japan for you? But that would be pretty interesting. I think Pereira is going to have to go up to 205 eventually. I don't know if he can keep making that weight cut. Is Rockage dark horse at light heavyweight? Yes. I wish the beat would come back. How do you think he would rank at this point? It's tough to say. It's tough. The division's tough. I'd rank him at like number 5, 6, maybe. I'd rank him over Chan Sung Jung for sure. If Islam beats Volk, he should fight Beneil. Yes. He needs to fight Beneil. And then go for champ against Edwards or Usman. I don't like his chances. What do I do if someone gives me a UFC NFT as a gift? Brutally murder them. Someone gives you a UFC NFT, they don't deserve to live. Raul Rosas will be the youngest champion for sure. We'll see what happens. He looked pretty good, but who's he fighting? A decent fighter, but Rockage is the only man who can beat Ankalaev and not get a draw. He should lost like Blachowicz did. What is Rockage is the only man who can beat Ankalaev. Not get a draw. He should have lost like Blachowicz did. Okay. Joey, if I feel like you're more of a Diaz fan than a Conor fan, am I correct? Yes. I wouldn't favor anyone over him at their speed and what I saw last fight. Okay. Remember when Joe Lozon, the biggest underdog against Jen Pulver, beating him in seconds? I don't even know if I was watching the sport at that point in time. I don't remember that, but maybe I do. Let me take not that this is going to remind me, but let me go take a look. When was that? Jen's Paul. Yeah, that was before my time, dude. That's 2006. That's 2006, my friend. I can't let. Didn't Joe Lozon? Hold on. Am I imagining things? Didn't Joe Lozon have a fight and it never happened? Was it against Cowboy Cerrone? Who did Cowboy end up fighting? Jim Miller. Joe Lozon was supposed to fight Cowboy like 5, 6 times. Dude, it wouldn't surprise me if they give Joe Lozon Paddy Pimblett now that I think about it. Wouldn't surprise me. I get a semi at the thought of Zabit versus Jair. Dude, it was booked 3 times. I get more than a semi, though. I'm thinking about that matchup. Islam will beat Edwards, in my opinion. I think Edwards would be too big, too strong. I mean, Islam could mix in the grappling, but Edwards got good grappling of his own. What's the percentage out of 100 that Khabib will be enticed to fight again? I'll say 15%. Would a current Cowboy beat Paddy? It'd be close, let me put it that way. I'd probably pick Cowboy, honestly, though. I don't know what Cowboy's been doing, though, so it's hard to say. I come to this chat for NFT betting tips, Grandmaster Joey tips. Yeah, make sure you go buy all the ones that the UFC... all the ones that the UFC fighters wear around their necks on those little NFT necklaces they have. Besides the Rocket's leg kicks and takedown defense from Rocket will be too much, okay? Pavlovich beats everyone at heavyweight, probably won't ever sell more than 200K pay-per-views. Dude, Pavlovich is a great fighter. I can't wait for Conor to retire, and then we'll see all the fake news MMA Twitter pages go extinct. Dude, no, they'll still cover him. I guarantee they will, even if he's retired. Conor McGregor says this about this fight, and then they'll embed a tweet. Besides Pavlovich beats everyone at heavyweight. Okay, read that. I would take an 80-year-old former boxer to beat Paddy. I mean, dude, at this point, he's an embarrassment of a man. He's an embarrassment of a man. He makes me embarrassed for this community for sure. Hold on 1 second, guys. Keep throwing questions in the chat. Do me a favor. Hold on 1 second. I just thought of this. Meant to send that earlier, but forgot to. Okay, keep the questions. Guys, just start spamming questions in the chat. I want so many questions, but if I catch up, I might have to end the stream. We'll see. Okay, where are we at? I think that Ankalaev versus Rakic would be similar to Saruki and Ismagulov in terms of skill. Ankalaev is a little bit better everywhere. I'm very high on Rakic too. He's very well rounded. I think that's a 50-50 fight. Edwards can ragdoll Usman in the rematch because no. Shout out to the boys at MMA Junkie. Okay, Lozon is a G. Dude went on tough already after having KO on his belt over the opposing coach. Damn, I didn't even realize that. Who do you think has the best takedown defense? Had the best. Dude, Jose Aldo had some damn good takedown defense. Joey, can Islam surpass Khabib as the lightweight goat? Yes. I'm predicting the future. Paddy versus Lozon in 2023. That's what I'm thinking. Tips on how not to have your wife kick you out every day. Stop asking questions about pork and beef. That's what I would go with. If Paulo Costa leaves UFC, which organization do you think he goes to? I think he'll go into YouTube boxing. What state you grow up in? Maryland. Now it pisses me off every time Paddy talks. Yeah, I mean, okay. That's a little bit extreme, but thoughts on Mike Goldberg? I miss Mike Goldberg as a commentator. He was an idiot, but he was enjoyable, and he was our idiot. And I think the UFC really did Mike Goldberg dirty. It leaked out. They didn't even tell the guy. It leaked out that his tenure was coming to an end. And they didn't even give him like any final thoughts or any sign off or any like thank you Mike Goldberg or anything like that on the way out. And I thought it was an embarrassment to the organization. What would Cowboy fight the Miller? Would the Cowboy that fought Miller beat Paddy? I think it'd go either way. What do you think about Alex Pereira and Alexander Rakic about at 205? Rakic would out-grapple him easily. How would heavyweight John Jones versus Prime Cain Velasquez do? Prime Cain Velasquez would probably win. 20. Go. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. So I would go Cain Velasquez. Can't believe how hated Paddy has become in like a month. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, he's making the worst possible moves he could ever possibly make. Calling out Ariel, acting like a dick, lying constantly, and then putting on a shit performance. It's an embarrassment. Worst position to be put in MMA, in my opinion, is the north-south position. Would tap immediately due to the stank and embarrassment. Yeah, north-south is pretty bad. I wouldn't want to be in the calf slicer flattened out like Roman Dolidze did to Jack Hermanson. Throw the likes. Yeah, guys, 70 likes on this stream, and I will be back later. And I'll let it even go, a little bit after the stream, too. So you guys just got to get close, all right? So like the stream. If anybody's watching right now who's not subscribed to the channel, go subscribe to the channel. Bigger dream fight, Danis versus Pimblett or Pena Nunes 3? Pena Nunes 3 for sure. Which MMA fighter has the worst temper? No idea. Can Paddy last one round against Fiziev? No. It would be I don't think, I would bet, if I could bet, I'd bet Rafael Fiziev first 60-second brutal KO. Did the guy with no legs make his MMA debut? Supposedly. Joey, have lunch with Brendan Schaub or Ariel, and you have to take $10K from Joe Rogan to give you you have to take $10K from Joe Rogan to give you a motivational speech. Have lunch with Brendan Schaub or I'd have lunch with Ariel. Who does better against Paddy, Tony Ferguson or Puelles? I'll say Ferguson. The worst version of Cowboy beats Paddy. Paddy is Bellator level fighter. Dude, Bellator has some decent fighters, but Paddy's a garbage fighter. He's a bottom of the barrel trash can fighter. Who's realistically next fight for Chandler? Probably Conor. Joey, imagine Islam. Now it just jumped down. Where was I at? Joey, imagine if Islam has 3 successful title defenses, about to surpass Khabib, and somehow Islam and Khabib get into a beef and Khabib comes back and fights Islam. That numbers that would do. Dude, could you imagine? That would be insanity. That'd be a huge fight. It's embarrassing for me. I don't even know what we're talking about. If Tony fights Paddy, how do you see that fight going? What round will it end in? I'll say Tony second round TKO. Who wins, Topuria or Paddy? Topuria would smash him badly. Was Paddy robbery worse than the O'Malley robbery? Yes, but just slightly. Would you want to see a rematch between Gordon and Paddy? Yeah, sure. Why not? Do you think, Joey, that Khabib would retire even if his dad was still around? No, he would not have. I mean, it probably sucked the love out of the sport, you know? Imagine, you know, you're training with your dad every day and, you have these goals and this and that. And, you know, his father passed away. That's the guy he's done it with for ages. You know, he's been there for him in his corner and stuff. I know he didn't get to be in the corner in the United States, but it's depressing. It's sad for him probably. So I think he still would be fighting. I think he'd still be active had his dad not passed away. And I think it's interesting that a lot of MMA media members who gobble up Conor McGregor forget that while Khabib's dad was sick, Conor was throwing jokes out there about Khabib's dad, which kind of gets lost now, kind of gets forgotten about. He joked about it, saying that, you're ducking Tony and you're ducking fights and your dad's not really sick and this, like, just talking shit. And it was just classless. And then to add on top of the fact that his dad passed away, I think is really ages horribly. It's embarrassing for middleweight division that Cannonier is ranked number 3 in the world and Justin is ranked number 3. But that's because Justin, Dustin, and Chandler don't want to fight anyone else. Yeah, well, soon enough, everybody's time will come. Agree with you on Goldberg. He was iconic for the UFC. Some of the best one-liners that were legendary in the sport. Yeah, it's depressing what they did to him, too. They didn't even give him a final send-off. I remember waiting and waiting and waiting. I thought they were going to come back and have him talk, and nope. I hope one day Goldberg is like a guest commentator for another pay-per-view. Have you already given your thoughts on the Costa situation? I have an entire dedicated video to it. But essentially, I think too many fans are being hard on Paulo Costa. The UFC doesn't want to pay him shit. Honestly, should Ngannou be in the pound-for-pound rankings? I don't know. I hate the pound-for-pound rankings. If Ngannou versus Jones goes to the ground, who will have the edge? Because Cyril Gane was supposed to be an elite-level grappler, and Ngannou dominated him. Cyril Gane was never really an elite-level grappler, so that's your first flaw with that one. Secondly, we'll have to see what John Jones looks like at heavyweight. I would think Jones would have a slight skill advantage, but Ngannou with the size might be too much. Thoughts on Rinat Fakhretdinov? He could make some noise in welterweights. I think he looked really impressive versus Brian Battle, but Brian Battle isn't that great. I know I picked him. I was an idiot. Fell into a trap there. But I think Fakhretdinov can make some waves at welterweight. Or isn't he at middleweight? I'm confused. No, that's welterweight, right? Tresean Gore and all them guys. The UFC should have like a bingo card for when you punch holes every time you won't take a fight. Goodbye, Poirier and Gaethje. Also, goodbye, Colby. I don't know about Poirier. Thoughts on Drew Dober versus Mike Chandler? I think Chandler would probably chin him. That'd be so epic if Khabib gets into it with Islam and Khabib comes out of retirement to claim his lightweight status. Yeah. Cerrone said that's never going to happen, though. Cerrone said he's coming back at middleweight. He looks big as F now. Okay. Don't have no desire to see it. Why does Gaethje get no hate for openly ducking Fiziev? I don't know. But hopefully that fight happens in 2023. That may or may not be on my list. Paddy gets ragdolled in PFL. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't think he would be a shoo-in to win a tournament. Brendan Shaw versus Joey. Who wins and how? I got you via the walls of Jericho. I think I win with the people's elbow, to be quite honest. Or maybe 5-star frog splash. Thoughts on Jared Cannonier taking a rematch with Whitaker since Paul? I don't have no desire to see that. Whitaker outclassed him the first time. No desire to see that one. Who wins, Joe Selecki or Paddy in a 3-rounder? Joe Selecki. And what round does it end? I'm not sure. Probably, I'll say second round. Paddy is plus 5,000 underdog to become a champ next year. Is that too much? Dude, it should be plus 20,000. It should be plus 20,000, honestly. I mean, it's disturbing that's too good of odds. Joey, have you ever trained MMA? I just wear Venom gear. Damn it, an hour late. It's already been an hour. Holy shit. Well, I told you guys early in the stream, and I'll tell you constantly growing. Run up the likes on the stream. If this stream gets 70 likes, I'll come back and do another stream later. Who wins, Mike Davis or Paddy? Mike Davis for sure. Would wreck him badly. I mean, to be fair, Connor sent condolences after the pass. I don't care. You made jokes about him, you know? It's disgusting. I really dislike Connor, fan of his work ethic, but the person is despicable. I hope Chandler chins him. I agree. Yeah, I saw that, man. Said, yeah, it was good, and Khabib's father was evil. Just multiple comments. Just, dude, you don't bring that type of shit into it, no matter who you're talking about, how much you dislike them. Get Goldberg on for UFC 300. Sign me up for that. No more gold canvases. Get Goldie in there for UFC 200 or 300. Do you think it's unsportsmanlike for BJJ fighters to look for tearing, breaking limbs before he tap? Kinda. It depends, man. The situation, kind of. I think Poirier can defend his ranking against Beneil, Gamrot, and has 50-50 chance against Arman or Fiziev. I think Poirier, yeah, 50-50 against Arman and Fiziev. I agree. I think Fiziev probably wins, but I would think he would beat Gamrot. I don't know though. Gamrot's tough too, but I think he'd beat Beneil. What's up, Joey? Hope you're having a good day. I appreciate the content in this MMA drought right now. Anytime, my friend. Anytime, Niles. Joey, who would you predict in that fight? Khabib versus Islam. I'd go Khabib. I think his striking. Now, I don't know. Islam's striking is super technical, but Khabib's just chaotic, and the pressure's unreal. You think Jones can close the strength gap between him and Ngannou? It's going to be tough, to be honest. It's going to be very, very tough. But I think it's possible. We'll have to see what he looks like. Heavyweight needs to keep moving. Francis needs to give up the belt or fight. Oh, it's crazy. They did an interim fight 3 months after Francis Ngannou fought and won the belt, but then it's been a whole year, no interim belt. But yeah, I think they're gonna announce it in March. For March. I think they're gonna announce it soon for March. Maybe in this break of no MMA news, I think they announced Jones versus Ngannou. You think, okay, I read that. Jones has a chin, footwork, he's versatile, his attacks, he's a great grappler with good takedown defense. He beats Francis. I'm probably picking him. I think Gaethje beats Fiziev. I disagree. Poirier has one of the best resumes at lightweight. I agree. Joey, how do you feel about Justin Kamaru and Henry in Chechnya? I think it's kind of an embarrassment. I think it's kind of an embarrassment to go hang out with that guy who's like a known, piece of shit, basically. Joey, never say never. Okay. Is there a small guy versus a big guy narrative with Volk and Islam? Yeah. Joe, have you ever seen KOTS? It's brutal. No, I have not. This channel must grow faster, please. Oh, appreciate you. Gane was able to avoid the power of Ngannou while on the feet. I'm pretty confident Jones can do the same. Maybe Francis will be able to. Yeah, I think I agree with you. That's also my analysis. And I think Francis isn't going to be able to grapple Jones. Joey, how does pay-per-view buys does Khabib Islam would be my dream matchup? I think it does a lot of pay-per-view buys. I think it would be in straight up insanity. Paulo doesn't deserve a race. He's inactive. He pulls out of fights, missed weight big time, and he looks like shit against Rockhold and Adesanya. Yeah, but he's top guy. He's fighting for what, 60 and 60 or 70 and 70? That's an embarrassment. He should be getting paid more. So, regardless of all those things that you mentioned, which I do agree with, doesn't look good on him. But UFC still kind of being cheap asses. I love that Drew Dober is calling out Chandler. That's a fun fight to make. I didn't realize he was calling out Chandler. I know he called out Jalen Turner. But, dude, Dober's going to get chinned by Chandler probably. Because all Dober does is strike. And I think Chandler lands on that chin and probably explodes it. What's next for Money Moicano? I don't know. Moicano's now in the rankings. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Demir. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Dan Hooker. I think Dan Hooker makes a lot of sense. So book Money Moicano, Dan Hooker. Like the stream, 60 and 60 as in 60K? Yes. Like, I think it might be 60-60 or 70-70 at the max. Paulo doesn't have to win against an active UFC fighter. He should get paid more. Dude, that's irrelevant. He's one of the top guys. He should be getting paid more than 60 and 60 or 70 and 70. Are there any fighters that universally praised that you didn't like? I'm sure there are, but off the top of my head, I don't know. If you were to give me an exact number, how would you do it? If you were to give you an exact number on what? Paulo Costa getting paid? He's calling out Chandler now on Twitter. Okay, I did not know that. Thanks for filling me in. If you fall 3 times a year, that's $360K a year. That's not bad. Yeah, but that's far underpaid for an elite top middleweight, regardless of his wins. You know, what's he currently in the rankings, dude? Number 6 in the rankings, dude, getting paid 70 and 70. That's an embarrassment for the UFC. The UFC should be embarrassed at those numbers. And the UFC knows it, and they're probably offering him much more, but Paulo Costa is being hard to negotiate with. You know, let's just say, I'm just making up numbers here, but let's say the UFC is coming at him with, you know, let's say they're willing to up it to 200 and 200 or something along those lines, which is probably more realistic for what he should be getting paid for the level of middleweight that he is. What's probably happening is the UFC might offer him that, maybe 200 and 200. And Costa probably thinks he deserves like 600 and 600 or something crazy. And that's where they're coming into a clash there. But there has to be some middle ground. You know, I don't know exactly what the answers are. But top 10 guy in the world shouldn't be getting paid like dog shit. That's for damn sure, in my opinion. That's for damn sure. You know? But it is what it is. I'm sure they'll sort it out, or they might cut him. Who do you have for the rumored Jing Liang or Li Jing Liang versus Della Maddalena? I'm taking Della Maddalena at UFC 284. Also, you have to take out the fact that you said it's 3 times a year. You never know, injuries and stuff like that. And also, you have to realize these are these guys' salaries that they're trying to make for a lifetime and trying to make it in a 10-year period. Thoughts on RDA versus Poirier matchup? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I doubt it happens. But who wins? Honestly, I'd probably pick RDA. I'd probably be able to out-grapple Poirier. I think after Gilbert beats Neal, they'll do Gilbert versus Jorge at 286. Maybe. But Jorge's too busy pretending he's a politician to fight anyone. So he's going to be Jorge's probably trying to cut down to 55 to take on Paddy Pimblett. Do you think Masvidal versus McGregor is possible? I feel like that might happen because McGregor's going to want a ranked welterweight. It's possible. I think it's a fight to make, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, I think it's one of the bigger fights the UFC can do. But it's tough to say what ends up happening with Conor. But I kind of hope they make it. I think all fighters deserve better pay. I think just threatening the UFC works for anyone. I mean, he's not threatening them with anything. So he never signed the fight, and the UFC announced it anyway. So it's UFC shitty business practices coming back. I agree with Costa contract 60-60. He pulled out against Jarrett and Rob. Okay. That's irrelevant. So do you think when you call out of work, do you think your hourly rate or your salary should be reduced? So you called out of work twice last week. Now you're going to go from $80,000 a year to now you're getting $50,000. It's just a flawed argument in my opinion. People may never acknowledge how much paying for camps and recovery eats into that pay. Taxes as well. People just hear these lump sums and they can't wrap their minds around it, but they don't realize sometimes they're paying for families, you know? Dude, if he's paid 60 and 60, and he fights once in a year and he's injured and he pays taxes and pays all the camp stuff and gym fees and coach fees. And then let's say you had a family, dude, you're basically living in poverty at that point. If you were to give me an exact number pay-per-view on how many Islam Khabib would do, I'll say it's 2.5 million. Biggest pay-per-view ever. Costa isn't the star he thinks he is. Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. The fact that UFC doesn't show fighter pay hurts the fighters because in other sports, they get paid based on what others get paid. Of course. Joey, did you watch your boy Blank on Ariel's show? No, I did not. I seen some clips. That dude's an embarrassment. That dude's an absolute embarrassment. Who has a lower fight IQ after their losses, Green or Holland? Who has a lower fight IQ after the losses, Green or Holland? Probably Kevin Holland. Apparently, some of you guys agree, some of you disagree. Joe, I thought Till was going to beat Dricus. Remember, you can never be confident until he's a bum. Agreed. It was terrible having any type of confidence in Darren Garbage Till. Yeah, it's. I mean, dude, he looked awful in that fight. I never expected him to look that bad. I can't imagine him looking that bad. They won't cut Costa. They sort of have him by the balls. They will hold a grudge since he kind of messed up the Perth card. Yeah, probably. I mean, It's really bad. It's really bad situation. And they'll probably that's what they'll do. They'll just keep offering him fights. He'll keep turning them down and then so on and so forth. Or he'll accept a winnable fight just to get out of his contract. I don't know why Jorge ever went up to 6. I don't know why Jorge ever went up to 6'7". Walter, he's ranked at 6 or 7. And, he's 6 and 7. That's his record. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he didn't feel like cutting weight anymore. You destroyed my brain with that message, though. I'm ready to see Leon defend his title. It's going to happen in March. I'm sure legally Dana still has to pay him 3 times a year. I'm not sure. No, he has to offer him fights. But if he's not happy with his pay and he turns down the fights, what's going to happen is he's just going to keep getting extended. Holland refused to grapple an MMA match, while Green got clipped being arrogant. Yeah, I mean, but Green always fights like that. Green always fights like that, so that's not out of the ordinary. Let me read something. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. I hope the UFC brings back Diego Sanchez so he can fight Tony. No, please no. Please no, please no. Tom Aspinall is the only Scouser who doesn't suck ass, okay? What did you think of Sean Strickland's performance? Did you agree with the decision? I thought it was an uninspired performance. I did agree with the decision, but I thought it could have went either way. And I mean, it's just one of those things. Strickland doesn't want to mix in the grappling at all. What did you guys think of Sean? Okay, read that. Sorry about that, Joey. No problem. Joe, you're saying Islam Khabib would do better than Conor Khabib. Yes. Because it's a massive fight. It would be a massive story. Paddy versus low confidence Riddell. Who wins? Riddell. Riddell would smoke him. I had to think about it for a second, the way you said low confidence. Thiago Santos, a striker who had surgery in both knees, was able to take down Hill multiple times. In your opinion, how likely is it Glover takes Hill down and finishes him in the first? Yeah, but also you have to take into account that Hill probably wasn't thinking about the grappling against Thiago. But I do get what you're saying. I think the fight ends in the first round. And it's either Glover with his grappling or Jamahal Hill with his striking, brutally KOing him. Do you think Paddy will headline a fight next? Or no, he will not headline a fight. No, he'll be on a pay-per-view main card. Better not be a co-main. Better not be a co-main at all. I do not want to see a co-main. I can't stomach that again. I can't stomach that. Better not be on a co-main of a pay-per-view. That would be absolutely atrocious. Read that. Do you think Paddy read that too? I'm all caught up, guys. I am all caught up. Listen, run up the likes on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to do something on this stream that we've not really done before. I want you guys to do me a favor, okay? I need you guys, everyone in here, to do me a favor. I'm looking right here. Hold on, give me 1 second. There's a guy who has a YouTube channel, right? And it's another MMA YouTube channel. And he's watched my channel for maybe, I don't know how long it's been, 6 months, a year, something along those lines. And he's commented on it multiple times, supports the channel. And he is live right this very second, okay? So what I want you guys to do, I'm going to get off here in a second. I want you guys to then go in his stream and tell him that I sent you to his stream. Run up the likes, subscribe to his channel. He does like MMA betting content, which you guys know I'm not super into. But still a decent channel and a supporter of this channel. So I want you guys to go to this guy's live stream right this very second and tell him that I sent you. I'm going to post a link in the chat. Tell him that MMA Joey sent you. Show him some support. Like his streams. He's a smaller channel. I mean, I'm a smaller channel, but he's even smaller. Subscribe to his channel. All that good stuff. Just let him know that I sent you guys. I would greatly appreciate it. And like this stream. Subscribe to this channel, of course. I'll talk to you guys later. Go enjoy his show. I think he just went live. So I'll talk to you guys later. You guys can talk MMA there. And I appreciate every single one of you. Go to the link that I put in the chat. Show some other MMA YouTubers some support. I greatly appreciate you guys. Good night.